Edwin, I need to...
What can I do?
I would like to ask... What's the story with this Mathras guy? Who is he?
It's hard to say. He's one of the living dead. Of that I'm completely certain. But he is able to do things no other species of revenant has ever done before. You must understand that necromancy, the magic that allows the dead to be reanimated, is based upon one principle: giving energy to lifeless bodies. Mathras functions differently somehow. It is not his body that has been brought back to life, but rather his mind, which has survived his body.
He says he's 6,000 years old. You believe that?
It is entirely possible. His spirit is in theory immortal. This magic is far different from that which is practiced in Vertiol. Instead of drawing energy from the world heart, he draws energy directly from the body he is possessing.
Could that have anything to do with the Ice Lords or my demon?
Absolutely not.
I'm going to have need of your talents. Come with me.
You offer me what? Sword play? Suspicion and...
Mercenary, it is well that you are returned. A creature that seemed like a dead thing came. It claimed you had sent it.
Yeah, he's a potential ally. Don't worry about it.
I fear I attacked him, and arrested him. He tried to talk to me, but I felt safer with it under guard, considering his face.
Where is he now?
He is with the Red Scribes.
Perfect.
They attacked the wrong person. How dare they condemn our king to such a macabre fate? My father. It's time for us to repay the Deadwalkers in kind. I want to see them destroyed, so not a single one of those dead ever dare set foot in our streets again. We're going to launch a massive assault to take back our city. It is time to turn the tide of this war. Vulcan, we will need you and your extraordinary abilities. We have to send a small group to open the city gates. I'm counting on you. I know that you can be stealthy and incredibly effective. A few soldiers will be going with you. This is our best chance. Black Frost doesn't seem to be here anymore, and most of his forces went with him. But before we launch the assault, we need to strengthen our army. I've been told there are prisoners in the city. If we free those soldiers, we can add them to our ranks. We're also going to need to get our equipment in as good shape as possible. We're fortunate that our smith has survived. Let us hope he'll be able to provide us with everything we need. But it's better to make sure.
Thou knowest that Black Frost's palace will take us to the world heart. Yet still thou dost waste thy time in vain battles. Thy stupidity knows no bounds.
Vulcan, I need your help.
What, sorting books? Observing swamp critters? You don't think I have better stuff to do right now?
That's not fair. I'm not stupid. I understand that what is most important now is the fight, and our soldiers...
The Freeborn Blades will do just fine. Don't you worry about that.
Not them, the other human soldiers.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure we can count on them. They've already lost the war. They're only staying here because the elves are protecting them. But they've got no fight left in them. They have to believe they can win. They have to fight alongside the elves and the Freeborn Blades. I've tried talking with them, but they treat me like a child. Maybe they would listen if you would talk to them.
Me? Most regular soldiers don't have time for mercenaries.
They just need to get their spirit back, boost their morale. I'm sure you could find some words to help them.
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you...
What do you want to know?
I've been thinking about the books in the library. I found a building that must be the library you were talking about. I think we should go there together. Shall we go?
It would be my pleasure.
Sybil,
Yes?
I'd like...
What do you want to know?
What do you think of Mathras?
I think he's absolutely unique, fascinating. I have always loved history and history books, but he actually lived through history. It's just incredible. There is so much we can learn from him. His knowledge could allow us to better understand what happened in our past. We could learn from the eras of our ancestors.
Do you really think he's immortal?
Oh, I'm convinced of it. You only have to look at him. He's so cultured and has so much knowledge. Which reminds me...
Something to do with our decomposing friend?
Yes, he won't talk to me about his romantic experiences. I managed to get a lot of stories about battles and all sorts of historical anecdotes, but nothing about his love life. It's not that I want to pry into his intimate life, but I do wonder why he's so reticent to talk about it.
I could always ask him for you.
Vulcan, come here. I need to talk to you about something. While you were in the city, the Deadwalkers apparently began stirring. Several scouts have disappeared without a trace. They can't just have been ambushed by chance. Someone must have given their roots to our enemies. I'm afraid we have a traitor among us. Though if that's the case, I don't understand why we haven't been attacked by the Deadwalkers yet. What's really troubling is that these disappearances pretty much correspond to your arrival here, which means that your living dead friend is the prime suspect. Even if it's just as possible that it's one of the Red Scribes, or even one of your people.
And why can't it be one of your people?
Why would he do that? And above all, why would he wait until now to betray us?
Maybe he reacted to the prince's return. He may have expected you to lay down your weapons, and when he saw you were gaining hope again, he decided to speed things up.
Maybe. Regardless, we have to find the spy and silence him. You have demonstrated your effectiveness and discretion. Can you take care of this?
Of course. I'll look into it. Since you arrived, the enemy seems to be aware of our every move.
Truly. Surprising that they haven't yet arrived here to destroy this camp. Most interesting. Or perhaps very stupid. In any event, I do feel sorry for you. One doesn't seem to be able to put one's trust in anyone these days.
You don't understand. What I want is...
But I understand perfectly, my dear boy. I'd merely hoped that you were above this kind of nonsense. Since my arrival here, I've been surrounded by your friends, something that rather precludes the possibility of me talking to the enemy. I have not once left the camp, and no one deigns to speak to me of strategy, which is a pity, given the evident levels of incompetence of your generals. Thus, it seems obvious that these suspicions are unfounded. You know, since arriving here, I have the odd feeling of standing in a turnip field.
A turnip field?
Yes, it must be all the superior intelligences that surround us. Trust me, child. You should leave this area as swiftly as you may.
You would know more about the Deadwalkers than us. Who do you think the spy is?
Walking around in a dead body doesn't make one an expert on all other dead things, young man. In fact, I find the suggestion vaguely insulting. But I have learned to trust my experience, something that you, despite your youth, should attempt to do also. I imagine we could quite easily reduce the possibilities. Firstly, the traitor must be able to enter and leave the camp without being stopped. Then, it must be someone who can observe your comings and goings without drawing attention to themselves. Lastly, it is someone who knows your plans. Someone who knows your military commander's orders. That alone excludes a large number, particularly the undead here. In your place, I should go and question the camp watchman. Logic suggests they will have seen something.
Thanks for the tips. I'll get right on it. Let's change the subject. Who are you exactly?
I am Mathras, immortal and unique.
Right. So why aren't you out there hanging out with your Deadwalker friends?
First of all, I don't have any pals. I'm a little too old for that. Secondly, I find your implication that I am associated with them most unpleasant. I have nothing in common with those dead things. I've been around for over 6,000 years, and I'm still very much alive, thank you. I admit this body is looking a little worn.
6,000 years old. Hey, you don't look a day over 250.
You flatterer. I did, however, lose a toe this morning. Nonetheless, these Deadwalkers are simply corpses as they're animated by magic. Whereas I am an immortal spirit who changes bodies when they wear out. There's absolutely no similarity.
That's not so dumb. It's what allows you to go on having an effect on the world, I guess.
Exactly. I give these bodies extra life that they would not have had if they'd stayed dead. Though, of course, these days, it's unlikely they would stay dead for very long.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you come to Carolthas?
Why not? There's one thing you should know about eternity. It can be rather dull. So I do my very best to be in the right place at the right time. The place where it's the most fun.
Fun? You think this is fun?
Well, distracting then, if you prefer. What do you expect? I'm just so bored. The End of the World is a show I wouldn't want to miss.
What do you know about the Deadwalkers?
Apart from the fact that they're an incongruous mass of corpses with appalling bad taste that are animated through the use of magic, nothing. I can tell you that the power necessary for their creation, and to keep them working, is far beyond the magical abilities of any of your contemporaries. And since it's obvious they are incapable of any decision-making or strategy, they are clearly being controlled from a distance. All of which suggests the Ice Lords who are controlling these things are rather powerful. Something, I grant you, quite difficult to believe when one saw them start out at the same pitiful level of incompetence as their brothers, the Red Scribes.
In 6,000 years, have you ever seen a situation as desperate as this one?
Honestly? Well, no. You are, as you might put it, fucked. Or at least the mortals seem to be. But you carry something within you that may modify things somewhat. And it is this seemingly insignificant detail, this flap of a butterfly's wing, which may eventually change the apparently manifest destiny of the world as you know it. This demon, as you call it, has never before walked the earth. Neither he, neither it, nor any other of its kind. If they had, I would know of it, believe me. Consequently, and in spite of the evident futility of such a sentiment, there may be grounds for you to feel a slight glimmer of hope. That is, of course, if it is your desire to avert disaster.
Well, that's comforting. What happened to the Elven King?
I think he was simply lacking in strength of will and determination. They transformed him into an arch-lich. It's a particularly delicate and extremely dangerous magical process that could only be performed by an Ice Lord. It can only be performed on an elf, and then only one who is desperate to live.
How so?
Elves have many flaws, but most of them do have a very profound sense of duty. If an elf believes he is going to be tortured to make him reveal the secrets of his people, for example, he can literally will himself to die. It would seem that this king was desperate to continue living at any price, rather than dying with honor. That is what allowed them to turn him into an arch-lich.
Do you have any idea about what I am becoming?
In all my long lives, I've never seen your like. Even the term demon seems to be designed to cause confusion. I have seen real demons when I lived as a war drum player amongst the dwarves.
Dwarves are just legend. You're yanking my chain.
It would be churlish to mock someone when it is so easy. Thus the dwarves did exist, and I was once one of them. They used to use these little creatures, barely the size of toddlers, in their enormous forges. They were little red creatures with tiny horns and a wicked air about them. You see, they were able to survive in the flames. The dwarves called them demons. You look a little like one of them, only much bigger. And you have an even more pronounced affinity with fire. I'm reserving judgment about the wicked attitude. I believe this affinity with flames is no coincidence. You are clearly a response, a weapon, and your purpose is to face the Ice Lords. It is entirely possible that you are the fruit of an attempt to rebalance the forces of nature. Alas, I have no idea which entity is behind all of this.
Talk to you later.
Greetings, mercenary. What can I do for you?
Can I?
Mercenary.
Has anyone gone by here? Any men leaving without passes? That sort of thing?
No, apart from you, no one. Is there a problem?
Your commander thinks there's someone sneaking out to meet up with the enemy.
That's terrible. Who could do something like that? Anyway, I promise no one's been by here. You should go try the other gate, near the mercenary camp. And maybe the sentinels in the North Tower have seen something.
How did you manage to make it through the battle?
Bit of luck, just like with everyone who survived. I'd pulled guard duty so many times in a row that I was sent on R&R. If you really want to know, I was in a steam room when the attack came, having a really hot bath. It was horrible. The deathly silence that fell on the city just like that, with just that awful cracking of ice. Anyway, I jumped into my uniform and ran like crazy until I found my commander. And now here I am. Nothing really heroic about it, I'm afraid.
What can you tell me about your commander?
I hardly know him. I wasn't in his unit. As far as I know, he wasn't that high up, but he's the highest ranking officer we have left. Anyway, I have to admit that he managed to bring us together, set up camp, and get a bit of cohesion going in us fugitives. That's not too bad.
I'm leaving.
If I were you, I wouldn't go near the main gate to the city. There are a lot of deadwalkers over there.
Sybil,
Yes?
I'd like to...
What do you want to know? Pass me the books you have. I can't carry any more. I need to keep my hands free in case we have to fight.
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask,
What do you want to know?
have you learned anything about the World Heart?
Yes, I found out a few things that might interest you. Some of the myths about the World Heart are based on real facts. Certain texts confirm that there is indeed a source of energy that fuels the world, but also that is the source of all magic power. Every time a sorcerer casts a spell, they are drawing power from the World Heart. The Ice Lords are siphoning this energy in huge quantities, and that is why they are so immensely powerful. If we can only discover how they're doing it, it may be possible to deprive them of all their power.
That sounds like a really good lead. Keep on digging. I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
I'm listening.
You see any unusual creatures in the Deadwalker ranks?
I thought I saw a creature I never saw before. A kind of flying creature, really thin.
That must be a tormentor, like the one in the cave. That's not good news. It could spot us at any time. Where was it?
Every time I saw it, it was somewhere high up. Pretty far from the camp, fortunately. It looked like it was crossing the mountains.
I'm listening.
Have you noticed any unusual movement? People leaving the camp?
Apart from you, I also saw the human who goes around with you. The one with the strange way of speaking. And I think I saw one of the mercenaries from your company, too. A really big fellow with a beard.
Buffalo?
Maybe. He didn't give me his name. He didn't go very far. It seemed like he was looking for something.
Right. Well, I'll just have to go and ask him, I guess.
I'm listening.
Enemy troop movement?
Apart from the ones you so brilliantly took out, no. Everything's pretty quiet. Well, there was a creature that came here, and undead as far as I could tell. He spoke and didn't seem aggressive. He said he didn't belong to the Deadwalkers. But I still decided to call up reinforcements. They took him to the camp for interrogation and an examination, I think.
Did you see him leave again?
No. Why? Did he escape?
No, but I wanted to make sure that he didn't leave the camp. I still don't know if he can be trusted.
I'm listening.
Thank you for the information. See you later. Undead? In our camp? Aren't you afraid it'll communicate with its masters? Sir?
It's a calculated risk. Your friend Edwin told me that she can interrogate those creatures, so we captured one.
You really can do some pretty weird things.
Listen, Vulcan. We're not going to turn down any information. If we can find out how to haul our asses out of the fire, I don't see how it can hurt. Ready to make it talk?
If our fire breather doesn't need me right away, I can start getting ready.
Excellent. Let's start the interrogation.
Listen, maggot head. You're going to tell us everything you know.
That's not quite how it works, Captain. It can't just answer questions like that. Tell me what you want to know, and I'll dig around in its memory to find the answers.
In that case, why not dig everything out, so we don't miss anything?
Even for someone as skilled as me, that could take weeks. Its brain, however limited, is like an immense archive that contains both recent memories and memories of its past life.
All right. I want to know if that bastard Black Frost really has left the area.
Let me concentrate. Yes. I see him raising the wave and turning the whole city into ice. This soldier must have been at his feet. Then he gave the order to attack and gave orders to several powerful undead. Apparently he left right after. He appears nowhere else in its memory.
What were the Black Frost's orders?
You have to understand that this creature's ability to comprehend is limited. From what I can see, it was told to keep watch over the city. He asked to be sent living people. Prisoners. The other living people must still be alive and under guard. Other prisoners. And of course, that he be informed in the event of trouble.
Does he know we entered the city?
This dead thing doesn't anyway. But that doesn't mean a thing, unfortunately.
What are those powerful dead you were talking about?
I see a flying creature, like the one in the swamp, and others. The image is blurred.
So the army is being commanded by a tormentor now.
No, I don't think so. They make good spies, but poor leaders. That said, I don't see any real generals.
Nothing that looks like that one that attacked the village.
No, but Black Frost will definitely have left someone in charge. Someone he trusts. This soldier just didn't see who. I think that he... Oh no! He saw me!
Huh? Who are you talking about?
Well, well. Probing the spirits of the dead? You can well imagine that this sort of communication goes both ways. So, that's where my dear rebels are hiding, is it?
I must break the link! Right now!
Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do for...
Hey, thanks for your help. Without you, we never would have gotten anything out of that dead stiff.
You know me, I just love to be helpful.
I would like to ask you... What's the story with it?
It's hard to say. He's one of the living dead. You must understand that necromancy, the magic that allows...
I'm going to... The mercenary salutes you, Knight. I have a few questions. You mentioned the Order of the Ember Knights. What is that?
It is the order that a knight belongs to. They are the surviving warriors and honored soldiers of other orders that were lost during this war.
Oh, so it's kind of the Order of the Orphan Knights.
This name does not sound well to his ears.
Right. So you haven't always been an Ember Knight?
No. He was first a defender of the Algander Islands. Then he was a Templar of the Order of Burgians, and then a Brother of the Rock, and then a Summer Tracker.
So all of those orders have been lost. That must have been hard.
He has lost many valorous companions in battle, and his heart is heavy with scars.
I'll bet. So what is the creed of the Ember Knights?
The knight has long searched for the answer. Now he knows it. To seek a glorious death and carry as many enemies as possible away with him.
That's kind of... depressing. If you follow me, we should be able to find a chance for you to get your beautiful death. Just try not to commit suicide at the first available opportunity.
The knight will wait for this moment.
Let's change the sun. I'll leave you. Buffalo, I have to talk to you.
What do you want?
You were seen leaving the camp. What were you doing?
What business is that of yours? Are you spying on me?
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm supposed to be searching for a spy, and I need some clues.
I was just out on a little recon. I don't see how that can help you.
They told me that you were looking for someone.
Yes, the soldier who was on watch just over there. He left his post, was trying to follow him, but he lost me. He knows the terrain better than I do. I followed his tracks for a while, but considering the number of deadwalkers in the area, I decided to come back. I didn't want to give away our position.
Where did the tracks lead to?
Over toward the river, but don't bother. The guard already came back. He's just over there. You could go and ask him yourself.
I guess that's what I'll do. Thanks for the tip.
Can I help you with something, mercenary?
I was told you left your post.
That's... no, never. Who told you such a thing?
You think I'd tell you? Come on, tell me everything or you'll really be in the shit.
All right. I left, but only once. I was following your comrade, Buffalo. He went to the main gates of the city. I figured that was pretty suspicious. But I didn't dare go very far. I couldn't leave my post unguarded, you understand? And then the Deadwalkers didn't seem about to attack him. In the end, he went back without a scratch and without saying a thing.
That's funny. Buffalo says you're the traitor, and that the reason he left was to find you.
He's lying. He's the one. I've heard rumors about him. Some people say he's immortal. How else can you explain that he gets out of things every time?
That's a good point. I'll go back and talk to him. It has to be cleared up. Buffalo, this is kind of awkward. That guard told me that it was you who left your post, that you went into town.
And when somebody that you hardly know accuses one of your old friends, you just swallow their bullshit without any questions? You disappoint me, kid, really.
Is that how you defend yourself? Fall back on friendship?
You have got to be kidding. Do you really believe what you're saying? I told you exactly what I did, without frills, and I stand by what I said. But I would lay good money on the fact that your new friend over there doesn't feel quite so confident about his innocence. If I'm not mistaken, he's already taken to his heels.
You seem to believe what you're saying, which probably means I just had smoke blown up my ass.
Cretin. The only one betraying the company here is you.
I'm sorry, Buffalo. Really. I'll see if I can go and catch him. Damn it, I'm too late. The bastard's gone. Mithras, do you have a moment?
My dear, I have all of eternity.
I want to ask you a couple of... How are things with Sybil?
What a charming young girl. Her hunger for knowledge reminds me of myself in the distant past, when I was young and still living in my first body. I imagine that if I still felt any physical desires, I would happily give her a good few hours of one-on-one experimental physical training. And it seems to me that she's rather more interested in getting your attention. At any rate, she is by far the most interesting red scribe I've met in the past 300 years. Though I fear that may not be much of a compliment, given their legendary incompetence.
Why won't you tell Sybil about your love lives?
I wouldn't have thought you'd be interested in the prurient questions of that young girl, charming as she may be. It seems to me that my sexuality is my own business, as well as which, I suspect my stories would be quite shocking to an innocent girl like that.
Come on, then.
I have been alive on Vertial a very long time, and before I lost all desire of any kind, I think I probably experienced everything possible, both emotionally and sexually. To recount all my adventures to you in detail would require weeks, apart from which, it's out of the question that I should speak of these things out loud.
As bad as that?
You doubt my word? Very well. Let me tell you about my 14th wife, the Princess of the Elephant City.
For real? But that's... gross.
And those are some of my cleaner stories. I told you, I've tried everything. Perhaps now you understand my reticence with your young friend.
Exactly. So what should I tell her?
Whatever you wish. I will confirm whatever story you tell.
Talk to you later. Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I spoke with Mathras. He finally agreed to talk to me about his love life. Well, lives.
And? What did he tell you?
Our bony friend likes... he's a complete romantic.
I could feel that behind his proud exterior, he was all heart.
He didn't go into too much detail. He's had many wives, and every time he had to watch them grow old and die. And he could do nothing to help.
That's... it's just terrible.
It is. That's why it's so hard for him to talk about it. You understand why now?
Yes. I feel so stupid. Thank you for your help anyway. I won't bother him about it anymore.
I'd like to ask you a few...
What do you want?
Anything new on the world?
I think I just discovered something really interesting.
Tell me.
From what I've read, the World Heart is not in Vertial. Well, not really. It exists in a sort of other world next to us, in a sort of limbo, in fact. And it's impossible to get there without using an extremely complex ritual.
And can you perform it?
No, but the Ice Lords have discovered a way to create passages and to keep them open. And it's by using these passages that the Ice Lords are able to channel the power from the World Heart. But they're draining it. They're using more power than can be replenished.
See you later. The Deadwalker's sentinels are no longer a problem, for now.
It's a start, but the main door is still out of reach. But now we're free to approach the city and look for another way in.
Until the guard changes, or until they realize they haven't heard from them for a while and stronger patrols come down on us like a ton of bricks.
The die is cast. We have to go fast and be ready to fight to get our city back. If there is a way in, you can bet the Deadwalkers have secured it. Those abominations are everywhere.
Not necessarily. They're pretty careless when they don't have a general behind them telling them what to do. Victory will have softened them up a bit. As long as nobody raises the alarm, we should be able to count on that.
Let's hope so. And while we're on this subject, there's something else you can do for us.
Ask away.
The Deadwalkers still control the main road. One of the towers you took is near one of their barricades. When the undead notice they've lost contact with their sentinels, that tower will be the first on their list of places to visit, and it won't hold out for long. The soldiers I posted there will do their duty to the end, but if we could eliminate the barricade to gain as much time as possible, it would be a lot better for us.
Save your spit. The barricade's no longer a problem. It was in my way, too.
Really? Excellent. Now we can keep watch everywhere on the steps.
Your traitor fled.
Damn it! How could this... Who was it?
One of yours. The one you posted below our camp. Thanks, by the way. The vermin even tried to frame one of the Freeborn blades.
And you let him get away? I'll have to signal the assault sooner than we planned.
Time's been against us from the beginning. I'll be going now.